Percival at the very back. A very short grid this evening, but Pepe's to lead them away in the Aston Martin. And with 5 lights ahead of the drivers, we get ready to go racing for the first time of the evening here in Extinguished Motorsports. 5 lights ahead of the drivers. And we get away. It is lights out and away we go in a brilliant start then from the Aston Martin down in towards turn 1. Not a lot of overtaking opportunities around this track, and already Pepe's has got the inside line covered. He leads through turn 1. Don Pedrito into them with Passy trying to fight him through now through the first few corners here, but the Alpine cannot get through just here. Hold third place, now into P2 for a brief moment. He finds the outside line. Can the Alpine take this away from the Williams? Side by side, and a great move for Passy now. Moves up a place in the sprint race. 10 laps we have then of racing. This is the first, of course, and no mandatory pit stops for the guys on the soft compound tyres. 10 laps is a long time to go on them, but of course some of the quicker drivers have decided to do that, so we'll find out. Not too far away from the podium. He is in P9 at the moment, though, and quite far back as he got St. Power in front of him and locked him in his sights. He goes up the inside line, and an easy pass for Owen now ahead of St. Power, who's also been overtaken by the Red Bull of Traps. Race winner from last week. Now he gets into P9 then. Second to last still, though. Himself in front, but he's getting ever closer to Deckers now. Through goes the McLaren on the Red Bull up the inside. Owen now gets into 4th place, putting Deckers down to 5. He's been fighting for the podium earlier on, now losing places. He's down to 5th. Passy on the backside of him. He's in P6 at the moment. But these 3 drivers fighting well, and Owen getting the best end of it at the moment into P4. If you can get within 3 seconds of Traps, Owen's on the podium here for the sprint race, because Traps with the 3-second time penalty, and going back to exactly what I was talking about earlier on, penalty is going to cause you to lose your hard-earned place, unfortunately, and that is what's going to happen with Traps here. If Owen can bring that gap down by 0.3 of a second, finishing that place off the track now for, who's that? St. Power has got a puncture on the front left, and something we see quite a lot here in Qatar. St. Power falls victim to the puncture on the front left side, and the medium there taking so much force. In tyres, raised questions at the start. Would he be able to finish this sprint on them, given they only last a short amount of time? But he's proved all of them people wrong. Pepe's over the line. He wins the sprint race this evening here in Extinguished Motorsports. Don Pedrito crosses the line for P2. And Traps, he will cross the line for 3rd and hold it, because he kept the gap then over the guy behind. Deckers takes 4, and it is a Red Bull 3-4 then. The lights build up to 5 here for the Qatar Grand Prix, round 4 here in Extinguished Motorsports. We've had the sprint. Here comes the Grand Prix. It is Pepe's off the line well then, down in towards turn 1. Is he going to do the same as the sprint race then? He covers up the inside already. Pepe's leads in towards turn 1. A great start from him. Don Pedrito too. And this time doesn't have someone breathing up the inside of him. Don Pedrito's free to hold P2 this time around. Now it is the Red Bulls that are fighting with each other on the race start. It's Deckers and Traps in P3 and P4. And actually Traps quite high in the World Championship. He needs these points. They are crucial for him. Only 4 rounds in, but of course really useful for him to get those big points early on, as his teammate pulls aside, and Deckers then loses 2 places there. Not entirely sure, looks like a wheel disconnection or something as he pulled to the side, let 2 drivers through, and Deckers now down to P5, gives himself even more work to do then in this race to make the overtake, but he does switch around the outside line now, a little bit more speed on the Mercedes. The pass is now through up into 6th position. How that goes with it, they don't really want to double stack. Traps into P2 then, ahead of Don Pedrito. Don now for the first time today gets overtaken. He's now in the final spot on the podium. For the DRS detection zone, we're going to see that move take place. Don Pedrito getting ever closer here to Traps in the Red Bull. Takes a better line through the left-hand side, but Traps pulling ahead slightly now in towards the final corner then to start lap 7 of 29. The DRS will be activated here, but the back end slides out for Don Pedrito, and he'll lose that advantage he would have had with the DRS down the main straight here. Now has to wait another lap around if he wants to make that place and get back into 2nd place. This could be an overtake then. The Red Bull of Traps up the inside line of Davey. He now takes 3rd, and a reminder to you that he's been in the pit lane, so of course he will have to go in again potentially later, because I don't think these mediums are going to hold out without risking a puncture. But Traps is now into the podium places. As here comes Pepe's on Traps then. This is for the race lead, everybody. Pepe's going for his P1 today. He won in the sprint. He took pole for the Grand Prix. Now fighting for the lead. Can he win this race today? This is the move then to make it work. And Pepe's does get ahead of Traps now as the Aston Martin leads again. 9 laps before the end. It is Pepe's one. But can this Red Bull try and fight him back? Traps today has really showed some strong pace and he won in the previous round. Pepe's now, because of the action and the fighting, he's now level with everybody around him. He has a 3-second time penalty as well. Traps with 3, Pepe's with 3, and Dom Pedrito with the same. The top 3 now all on a level playing field as everybody picks up a time penalty. So it isn't going to matter too much if you have one anymore. Out now of the race with only 8 laps left. And here comes Aston Martin. Pepe's fighting him back down in towards turn 1. He wants this move ahead of the Red Bull, but can he make it this time around? Up the inside line goes the Aston Martin. They are level through turns 1 and 2. Traps has the inside line through there, but the Aston Martin will have the inside through the right-hand side. And Pepe's once again is leading the Qatar Grand Prix, but how long for? We saw him do this the previous lap around. Traps found a gap and got back through. But I think this time it's looking more permanent. Contact made on the Aston Martin. The race leader gets sent nearly around. Traps sends him. Pepe's regains it and Traps does let him back through, which is what we like to see. And of course, he will skip a penalty because of that from the stewards. In the background, it's going to be Traps. Something's gone on here. I think a disconnection with a wheel potentially. Traps into P3 and he went well off the side of the track now. He's just disqualified. The man that has led many laps in this race, he won the previous round, the Red Bull, is out. He is out of the Qatar Grand Prix and he'll retire in the pit lane now, but it is a disqualification for the Red Bull. A move here for Dom Pedrito as he does get in front, but unfortunately isn't going to mean much at all here today in the Williams, as his time penalties is going to throw him under the bus massively. This is the final lap of the Grand Prix this evening then, and with 3 drivers retiring, we only have 7 remain in this 4th round of the season here in Qatar. The previous round then, ladies and gentlemen, in Japan was brilliant. A lot more drivers than this. Unfortunately today was just one of those days where, you know, the attendance isn't as good as it usually is. But hopefully next week will be better, and I'm sure it will be. But even then today we've still had some class racing from one driver, and that is Pepe's in 2nd place at the moment, but effectively in the lead then after time penalties have been added up across the line. It's gone absolutely Pepe's way all the way through today. He's took pole in the 1st qualifying and the 2nd qualifying. He took the race win in the sprint as well. And now to wrap it up for him today, he's going to make it 4 out of 4 this evening. Dom Pedrito taking every win that he can today. Pepe's taking every win that he can today. Now he is going to try and take that 4th as he crosses the line together with Dom Pedrito. Pepe's wins the Qatar Grand Prix. Dom Pedrito takes 2nd place. Passy across the line then. When he gets there, 25 seconds behind, he will take the final spot on the podium. And now we have to see if we're going to get to speak to them or not. But an incredible drive from them. It is the podium of Pepe's, Dom Pedrito and Passy.